Greetings. Tonight, we're going to be talking about some deep topics. I'm your host, King Calvin Jones Jr. We're going to look into the deep depths of what has happened in the communities. Locally is where we're going to start. Today, I actually did a broadcast live via Facebook Live in the communities, and it would have been very shocking, some of the disturbing responses that I got, and there's more to come in the upcoming days and weeks concerning certain issues. We have to get to the bottom of all of the drama that has debased our communities. And we got to find out, are these people for the good of the community or are they for the bad of the community? And one of the topics I want to look into, as I said, is the church in itself in general, because the church was supposed to not take from the community. It's like this: if you pay your tithes and offerings, you should be able to have access to the facility of your membership, of your choice. And for certain reasons, it's not going like that on today, or at no time has it really ever happened. It's like giving somebody money to rent out a spot, but you never get the keys. You're never able to do what it is that you need to do, to occupy the place that you have been in. And so what I did research on was, you can't be in the area, and the scriptures say you're supposed to rebuild the desolate and waste places. So if you're taking money and not revitalizing the communities that you're in, then what are you really doing? My motto is, from the CJC Hood News that I'm going to take on tonight, we hear now what you got to say. And so seeing that I've done that, actually we went to a couple of different places, as you all seen on Facebook Live, and you'll be very disturbed at some of the responses that we got on today. Seeing that this was a day of not even actual a worship day. It had actually been changed from Sunday to Saturday. So Saturday is actually the day you worship on and not Sunday. But that's because the papacy that was in the church changed the times, laws, and seasons. So certain things were more important than others. See, Easter that's what the Sunday church keeps. But if you on a Sabbath, if you worship on Saturday, then you don't do that. Two different ordinances. You do the Feast of Unleavened Breads, and this is why most people in the communities go through even harsher things in their communities, because they don't know no better. They just following suit and doing things just any type of way. And this is why mass shootings, and this is why it's just a cliche. People are just going out, doing their own particular things, but they're not really sold out to the community at all. They're just taking from the people and not giving back. It's best to give back even the leastest thing. God will trust you with so much stuff. To whom much is given, much is required. And seeing that in my years as a bishop at that, I was able to set a standard, through many churches, being able to do what I was doing and even have one-on-one conversations with many of the great leaders that reside in the religious faith, whether it had been Anglican or Episcopal or Pentecostal. It didn't matter. I was able to seek the wise counsel of other potential people. And so I knew the difference. So when I go to a regular assembly, like in normal garments, like a regular person, they think I'm just like everybody else. But the truth of the fact of the matter is there's a difference about what God has shown me to do. So I've been doing it for years. This ain't something that I just started. I've been a warrior for God for years. So my thing is, why would you give somebody some money and never get any keys? Why would I pay my tithes and offerings and I never even, sharing a responsibility? I'm just as much as a member as anybody else. And people don't even look at that. So they get their tithes and offerings up and, no blessings come the following week. A year done pass and they still are kind of going through. And so these things are what we want to look at. For the sake of time on this morning, you got to actually check out my inside scoop story that I did this morning. Yesterday, actually, on the community. And most people already know how I pretty much will put them on blast. It either a phone conversation. I've actually done a lot of stuff. I actually really get some results and communities and everything. I would do the stuff that everybody else only talk about. I get up close and personal with you and even communicate with you at the same time, able to get the results that I want to get, get the results for who? The people. See, anytime you're doing something, even in media, you have to be assertive in everything. You got to be wise as a serpent, harmless as a dove, because you got your ins and outs. You got people that's, doing stuff that they're not supposed to do, and they don't really want to be exposed, for what they doing. So the way to basically break it down for them is to, like, if I'm doing a Facebook Live or something and I got like a whole bunch of people or some people that's in the community watching me interview a person, like, live, you know what I'm saying? Like, a person is like, I used to like a lot of the news channels where they used to just go up on people, put them on camera, and they would never really know or vocally be able to get them to pretty much, say what it was. Cross, is actually cross-referencing, their comments back to them. So when you cross-referencing something back to them, they kind of be baffled that, how did you get this, that, and other. And see, being from my background, I know how to cross-reference certain things to help the community, get answers and what they want, So my thing was, this is going to be an ongoing series locally. We coming to you, we doing background checks, on everybody, so if your assembly, is, crooked, you got a certain time to get everything. We from the gates all the way back, from the usher board to the deacon board, all around. You gotta make sure everybody is in its prospective order. So the way it is now, because you don't want no inside, nothing, opening up stuff to, what you're doing. You don't want these things to take place. And the adversary, he will do that stuff. He will actually do that. He'll use some demonic activity to take place, and then you wondering, why didn't I do a background check on this person? And they open it up where they wasn't 100. So you got to get people that are, willing to go through the background check. And even if you got people that's employed with your organization, it's good to do a check on them. Even if they did have a history, it's a way for them to be 100 with you, because you don't want that person to be half and half, and then in the time of a desperate situation, you can't count on that person, because you never knew that they wasn't solidifiable with what was predicted. Like, say a church shooting happened and somebody wasn't qualified, they should have told you in advance that, I wasn't really sold out in this particular way. You don't want people like the school shooting. They had a law enforcement officer who was present but didn't do anything, so you have to do in-depth research on everyone. That is just a solid fact. You don't want to just be designating authority or positions to anyone. You got to find out the history on what they're doing and what your real motive is for doing what you're doing, and it's good. I mean, some people may prefer not to, because the establishment might be, wishy-washy anyway. Some people, they do that. They not legit. So they might not go through the process, which makes me think and other people think, like, if you're not trying to be legit,